The Secrets of Movies and TV Shows is brought to you by the Star Quest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
You're listening to The Secrets of Movies and TV Shows. Hello and welcome to our discussion of the Super Mario Brothers movies, where we're talking about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the 2023 movie based on the Super Mario Brothers video game franchise. And no, we are not talking about that other movie that came out 30 years ago.
Oh, but that was such a good movie.
Your definition and mine of good movies are two different things. I'm Father Cory Sticha. With me today are Father Andrew Kinstetter. How's it going, Father Andrew?
It is going fantastic.
And David Handlos. How's it going, David?
Quite well, thank you.
And Thomas Salerno. How's it going, Thomas?
Very well, Father Cory.
Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to join in the discussion of this movie and our other shows on our Discord at sqpn.com/discord. And you can get your StarQuest merch at sqpn.com/merch. So before we get this discussion rolling, let's start out with a summary. Can I let you know, if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, we're going to spoil everything. So as Don would say, go stop the podcast, go watch the movie, and then start the podcast back up. Mario and Luigi have left their previous plumbing job to go out on their own as the Super Mario Brothers Plumbing. Their first job doesn't go well, but Mario thinks they can redeem themselves by fixing a major flood in the streets of Brooklyn. Instead, the brothers get sucked down a pipe into another universe. Luigi ends up in the Dark Land, while Mario finds the Mushroom Kingdom. Luigi is captured by agents of Bowser, while Mario meets Toad and Princess Peach. Bowser has found the superstar in the Iceland and is moving to conquer the Mushroom Kingdom and hopes to marry Princess Peach. In response, Peach trains Mario in platform gaming, and the two of them are joined by Toad in seeking out the army of the Kongs. Mario is able to defeat Donkey Kong in Smash Brothers competition, and the army joins the three on the Rainbow Road back to the Mushroom Kingdom. However, Bowser is ready for them, and the army is captured. Mario and Donkey Kong end up in the stomach of an eel, and Princess and Toad and Peach and Toad return to the Mushroom Kingdom to face Bowser and his army. When Bowser arrives, Peach reluctantly agrees to marry him. As part of the wedding ceremony, Bowser intends to sacrifice the prisoners, including Luigi and the Kong army, by dropping them into a pool of lava. However, Toad includes a freeze flower in her bouquet that she uses to freeze Bowser in the winch holding the sacrificial prisoners above the lava. DK and Mario are able to escape from the eel using a rocket barrel and join in the fight against Bowser. When Bowser breaks out of the ice, he orders a bomber bill launched to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario, in a Tanuki suit, is able to get the bill to chase him to the pipe back to Brooklyn. The bill explodes after going through the pipe, sucking Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, DK, and Bowser's floating island into Brooklyn. After seemingly futile fighting against Bowser, Mario and Luigi are able to use the superstar to become invincible and wipe out Bowser's army and defeat Bowser himself. Bowser is force-fed a blue mushroom that shrinks him small enough to be trapped in a jar and eventually put into a small cage in the Mushroom Castle. So, what did you guys think of this? We'll start with you there, Thomas. What did you think?
Okay, so I was really, really pleased with this movie. And it's funny because when I first saw the first trailer some months ago, and I think, Father Andrew, you might remember this because you and I had some back and forth on Twitter way back when this happened, that I was originally not impressed by the early trailers. I was like, Chris Pratt as Mario? What? Illumination? I really haven't cared for some of their other movies. And so I didn't really know what to expect going in, but I really, really think they knocked it out of the park. I 100% love this movie. It hits every beat that you want to as someone who's even vaguely familiar with the Super Mario games. You know, I just thought it's great. It's great for kids and families. The kids in my theater had a blast with this movie. And I just think overall they did a fantastic job.
How about you, David?
I watched this with my kids, my two oldest. They had a blast. You know, of all the things they said, we have the classic Super Mario at home. So as soon as they're walking out of the theater, they said, "Yeah, now we finally have some character backstory." I'm like, I didn't expect a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old to say that. So, yeah, now we know some more about their character backstories. I'm like, okay, all right. But it was fun, and it was just one of those things. I mean, it kind of hit all the marks for a child of the 80s like me, and it was also just, I love the training montage with the I need a hero meme to it, and it just, I mean, it was like they go through the things like, these are power-ups. You eat mushrooms. No, don't question why they're there. Don't question it. Just, these are there. Just no questions. Just go with it. Just like the game. This is your world now. You eat a mushroom, so you just eat that mushroom and go fight that gorilla.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. And Father Andrew, what'd you think?
I feel like I'm going to echo everybody else. It was everything that I wanted it to be. When you were giving your summary of the movie, I actually kind of expected you to say Bowser wants to take over the world and Mario defeats him. Like that is the summary of just about every Mario game out there. And so that is what I expected out of this movie. And that is what happened.
Well, we should have also mentioned that you should also mention your summary that Bowser shows to be a fairly talented pianist.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Right. You know, I mean, they turn things on its head a little bit. You know, Peach isn't the one captured. You know, and which was perfectly fine. Luigi, who's my guy. You know, I grew up with an older brother who always was Mario, so I was always Luigi. In fact, I've got my little Luigi here with me.
Nice
little plushie that I got way back when Mario 64 was, I think, just debuting. Like it's that old. That's a classic, 20 years ago. So it was everything that I wanted it to be. It had all the references that I wanted. It leaves me wanting more. Yoshi's Island, Luigi's Mansion. I think there's some phenomenal excuses to make spin-off movies from this. It was fun. And yeah, like I wasn't nervous when I saw the critics just completely kind of trash it. And like I think the critics wanted something out of the movie that it wasn't trying to be the movie they wanted it to be. And like David, like you said, like the power-ups, they don't need an explanation. They're just there. And when you play the game, you don't need an explanation. They're just there. Like it's part of the world. And so, so much fun, so much nostalgia for sure. And I'm excited to see where they're going to go next, because obviously they're about to break $1 billion at the box office.
Wow. Yeah.
This is big. This is, I think, the biggest animated movie ever.
If they haven't already, they've basically hit $900 million gross in the box office worldwide.
Yeah.
And by the time this gets released, it will absolutely be $1 billion and plus, which will put it in the top 10 of all animated movies for gross.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I am not surprised in the slightest, because this movie has energy too, which a lot of other animated movies don't have the energy that this movie has. Like from the beginning to end, it holds your attention and never lets go. And
Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, was also, I mean, he was involved at every step of the way, which I think is part of why it succeeds so well, because it has the vision of who Mario is. It's not someone else's interpretation of him. This is Mario.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Mario
absolutely.
Brothers. Have to keep Luigi in there too.
Yeah. Well, this is the whole universe, and I'm just gonna say, ditto. I mean, really, it's there's. I love the meme where it's Princess Peach and Bowser, where she say, "Were you expecting this to be as deeply, a deep plot like Pixar?" Yeah, kinda. And it's like, no, we wanted a Super Mario game on the screen. I mean, I think that the four of us will say that we wanted a Super Mario game on a screen, and we got that, and it was a lot of fun, and it was very much worth going to see, and it just smile from minute to minute and looking for all the little Easter eggs and all the little things they hid in there and all the little, that's, so Yeah,
and the voices were perfect. I mean, like as nervous as I think everyone with, especially Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
they were fantastic.
Oh, I forgot it was him. After
I totally forgot.
I love Chris Pratt as Mario because they did have, of course, they had the commercial at the beginning where it's me,
which throws back to
or they're playing up the accent.
He's like, should we really been doing accents like that? That's kind of offensive. I thought that was funny.
Right.
The opening joke, kind of.
Yeah. Well, you get the guy who's playing Jumpman, which, if you notice, was Donkey Kong. Because Mario's name in the original Donkey Kong was Jumpman.
And the voice of the guy who makes the comment about the accents is Charles Martinet, who is the voice of Mario from the video games.
Yes.
So they did bring, and he plays Mario's dad.
That's right. That's right.
I love that.
Oh, so their family, by the way. That scene. Okay, I come from a big Italian family on my dad's side. That dinner scene was true to life. That's how those kind of dinners go. That reminded me of being at my grandparents for Sunday kind of early dinner, not really lunch, 3 p.m. Like that. I'm like, like everything they were saying. I'm like, I've had these conversations before. That was like authentically Italian American, and I loved that.
Yeah, it was just an incredible scene, and all the different family members. You got the one guy who's just giving him a hard time, and mom's trying to keep the peace, and it was great. It's funny you talk about your 9-year-old talking about the backstory, but it really kind of is how did you get these characters where Mario, neither of them were in the Mushroom Kingdom, having lived there. Princess Peach, she grew up there. We don't know her full backstory other than she just showed up when she was like, toddler age. But Mario kept going and he kept going and he wouldn't give up. And it felt so many scenes like where they're trying to fix the plumbing in that apartment, and where he's trying to figure everything out. Just felt like a video, like playing a Mario game. It's like, okay, I fell down that pit again. Let's try it again. Let's do this again. Let's do, just keep going and don't give up and don't give up. And that was very much Mario's character.
To go a little meta there. I mean, I think that if they were playing off of that, which totally, how many times have I died playing the original Super Mario Brothers? And and then you finally make it past the point where you died before, and then you promptly die again. I mean, like it is, totally perfect. But what I liked about it too is they kind of expand it to say, like, this is how you become a hero. Like, you try and you fail and you pick yourself up again and you keep on trying. And Mario, that's why he's a hero, is when he falls, he doesn't quit. He picks himself up and he continues to fight and learns from what mistakes he made and goes on to win the battle.
Yeah, and he fights back. We see him with Spike, their former employer. Where he's standing up to him and, not taking any guff from him. And you see it when they have the flashback to baby Mario and Luigi. Yeah. Speaking of Yoshi's Island too, got baby Mario and Luigi, where, Mario's standing up to the bully, even though Luigi's being picked on.
So I have to say that, like, I mean, this movie was fun, and I went and saw it again last weekend, and not like I teared up, but I almost teared up at those scenes, because having a brother, like, I mean, Mario and Luigi is, like I kind of sort of alluded to. I mean, me and my older brother are very close, so we share a lot of that. And so to see the love that they have between each other and are always supporting each other, and Mario like always jumping in to defend his brother. And then that being kind of that breaks when Mario and Luigi get separated. And then you have this like longing for them to reunite as brothers. I loved that was the impulse of Mario's whole adventure was to get his brother, and having a brother. It just, that was one of the more kind of touching scenes, because I've been the one who's been picked on, and Greg has stood up for me. So like, it's, I know they're not meaning to be super deep, but there are moments in that are touching for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They did try to put some of those kind of elements in there. That helps a lot. Couple little there are a couple little Easter eggs just kind of right off the bat. If you on the TV screen when after the commercial, you see there's the news. And it talks about Mayor Pauline.
Yeah.
Of course, that's another Donkey Kong reference because the woman he was trying to rescue was Pauline, not Peach or any other.
We all usually think it's Peach. Those who didn't grow up when it came out, but yeah, it was Pauline.
And younger viewers will remember her from Super Mario Odyssey.
Correct.
She's in that game as well.
Yep.
Which also she in Mario Odyssey, she's in a whole sequence that is reminiscent of the original Super Mario Brothers game.
Nice.
In fact, I mean, you essentially play through the original game, but in the Mario Odyssey game as part of a festival, and she's the mayor.
That's one I haven't played. Of course, I grew up with the NES. I had the original NES, and I played the heck out of the original Mario. And my favorite game to this day on the NES is Mario 3, Super Mario 3.
Oh, yeah, that is
like
the
best game on the NES. I mean, there's some great games on the NES, but that's one of the greatest. So and some of the ones in between I kind of hit or miss. Like I like Galaxy. Mario Galaxy is last, but I never played Odyssey. I haven't played that yet. Actually, I want to go through and play all those old games that I haven't done yet.
In fact, there was a lot of homage to Odyssey in this movie because the whole wedding thing is that's kind of the plot of Odyssey. Well, it's kind of the plot of every Mario game too. I mean, Bowser does always want to marry the princess, but in Mario Odyssey, Mario breaks up the wedding ceremony at the very end on the moon. One of my other favorite games is on the Super Nintendo, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. And there's another wedding in there too, where Bowser's trying to marry Princess Peach, and then this other villain called Booster tries to marry her, and you have to break up the wedding. And so that's been a common theme in.
Well, so we all knew it. That's why he kept trying to grab her.
Right. He's just lonely. He's just looking for love.
I thought it would have been an interesting dynamic if they had introduced Bowser Jr. into this, because in some of the games, his thing is to actually marry Peach because he wants a mother for his son.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised that they didn't go there with this.
I wonder if that would have just been too much because, I've thought about like Baby Bowser, but like Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, some of those characters. Those are, I think definitely those are more appropriate for the spin-off movies that are coming.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't bring him in. I think the movie worked to kind of keep it a core kind of original Mario Brothers story without going off the rails too much.
Yeah, Mario hasn't, or the Nintendo hasn't said anything officially yet, but Shigeru Miyamoto is going, okay, what's next?
He's hinted that they're obvious. Well, even a post-credit scene hints there's more coming.
Post-credit scene of a Yoshi egg in Brooklyn.
So, I missed that.
That's like the end credit.
Oh,
you don't see it,
so, but the key point there was in the movie you see Yoshi's Island and you see all the Yoshis running. Not a single one of them is green.
And Yoshi's my guy. I'm like, where's Yoshi?
The end. Well, you'll have to go watch it again. The end post credit scene. It's a green Yoshi egg that starts to hatch,
and then you hear the Yoshi.
Yep. Ooh. So Marvel has trained me to stay to the end of every credits, no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Marvel or not. I stay until the very end.
And the fact that they threw a mid-credit scene, which we'll talk about later,
I did see that.
Threw people off on that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they've spun off on their own, and they're going to do this first one. And that scene in that bathroom with the dog.
Oh gosh.
Let's just get the problem solved, and then the dog comes in, and everything breaks.
Did you guys catch? Was that even a reference to anything at all, or was that just supposed to be like this is their first job that goes completely off the rails?
I think it's supposed to be their first.
I think that was just the best example of slapstick things gone wrong I've seen in a while. Yeah.
Well, I love it. The dog's all friendly and everything, and then Luigi steps on the bone and breaks it, and all of a sudden the dog is not happy.
Yeah, the only connection that I found was in the Luigi Mansion series. He befriends a ghost dog and becomes really good friend. Yeah, Polterpup. So I wondered if this was like the inverse of that, like real dogs, Luigi kind of doesn't play well with, but
yeah. Just I agree. It was just like a slapstick scene to show, that it was going badly and they needed to redeem themselves, and that's how they end up at the big flood, the big water main that flooded Brooklyn.
But before they got there, they recreated World 1-1 from Super Mario Brothers as they went from their from the pizza place to the house that they had to do the plumbing job for, which is a really fun way to recreate World 1-1, but in road construction.
Yeah, poor Luigi had to carry all the tools, so Mario was able to jump and run and climb and everything, and then he had to open the gates for him, and
which is really interesting because in the lore of Mario, if you will, Luigi always jumps higher and has the ability to jump higher. So he didn't really jump much at all. Mario had all that fame. So I'm hoping we'll see more of that in future installments.
Well, it was
he was
US
caged a lot, so
yeah.
Well, the US version of Mario 2 is where he gets his higher jump.
That's his thing in Mario 2, and then they just kind of keep that as a thing in additional games.
He jumps higher, but not as far. And
Peach's ability to float with her dress made an appearance from Super Mario Brothers 2.
Saw that.
And that was a great scene where he's climbing over everything, and poor Luigi's just like, I can't make it.
Right.
Did you see that they recreated the van too? So the van, which didn't actually get to run. They actually made I think it was a Nissan van or something like that.
Yeah, like Chris Pratt drove it.
Yeah.
Yeah. As part of the
Universal Studios or something like that.
Wow. Is that going to be at the theme park then? That van?
I bet it will be.
Because they're doing the Nintendo Land or whatever.
Yeah, down in Orlando. I don't think it's supposed to open for another year or so, but the one in Japan opened already. But
and that was one complaint about the movie. This is actually just an ad for Mario Land. Like, so
I don't care. Did you guys at all call the number that they advertised? Because that ad that they built has a number. And if you call it, or text it, I had Mario and Luigi sending me updates, which of course they're just marketing ads. I mean, it's like, sorry, we can't get to you. We're swamped with customers, but here's a link to, if you want to schedule an appointment, and it links to it links to a search for movie theaters with times. So, I mean, and then the website too, like you can go to that website and read, and like Spike has a really bad review of Mario Brothers. And I mean, their marketing was off the charts. I didn't go a day without seeing something in the weeks leading up to this movie.
Yeah, they did a really good job of that and really promoting it well. And actually, kind of thinking about that, you talked about the first, Thomas, you talked about the first trailer. And I think a lot of people had the same reaction you did, is this doesn't, something doesn't look right about this. And it didn't sound right. But as the other trailers came out and we got to see more of it, it's like, okay, now this is. Yeah. So but they marketed the heck out of it. But yeah, lots of little Easter eggs throughout. I love Mario playing Kid Icarus on the original Nintendo.
I caught that. Yeah, yes. I was like, he's a Kid Icarus player.
That was great.
Yep,
that was a great.
There were so many references in that room, and of course, none of them were Mario Brothers specifically, which was But I think there was a Star Fox reference. There was the Kid Icarus. There was. I forget. Somebody, has a list of it all, but
lots. Nintendo definitely threw a lot of their back catalog in there.
So anything from Captain and the Game Master on back. Let's just throw it at the wall and see what happens.
Yeah. Exactly. So they end up getting sucked into the pipe or walking into the pipe, basically, where there's major, that was a heck of a water main break where it's like literally flooding the streets. And Mario knows how to fix it, but the people don't.
Did you catch that when they were going down underneath Brooklyn? There's at one point there's a sign on the wall that says level 1-2.
I missed that.
Reference to World 1-2 from the original Super Mario Brothers, which is underground. And awesome. even you have you have musical cues of that level in the background. Very subtle. It was subtle, but it was, and that's also the first level in Super Mario Brothers that you encounter the warp pipe if you go to the very end So it was, I mean, like, yeah, they
were
thought
paying
this out.
attention when they made this. Yeah.
By the way, this is a good time to mention the music as a whole. They did such an amazing job mixing in the Koji Kondo music and putting in other music that fit in so well with it, where just all of a sudden he's like, oh, I hear the Mario theme. Oh, I hear the Rainbow Road theme. I hear, just snuck it in just a little bit, did such a great job with that, where it was subtle for a lot of it. A couple of times, a little more explicit, DK rap, for example. But
great. Yep. That's the best rap ever made. I think the original composer and writer of that, didn't think highly of it, at least when he wrote it, but it's now become just kind of iconic. It's
one of those iconic songs. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, they did a great job with the music.
Oh yeah.
Just mixing it all in and just incredible. But yeah, they end up in this place where looked like, some sort of steamworks place or something like that, where no one been there. And what's this big green pipe? And why am I suddenly being sucked into it?
Yeah.
No rational explanation. Just go with it.
Just go with it. You walk into this pipe and it just sucks you in and you move on.
But before I forget, or I think at the very beginning of the movie, when Bowser first appears and fights the penguins, a kid near me in my row had a hilarious comment because, okay, the movie's just started. Bowser's attacking the Ice Kingdom, and the kid's like, the movie just began. We're already at the Ice World? What? That's funny. Like, that kid knows his Mario games.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be here yet.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just a great scene on its own too. I mean, just you've seen the power. Do you yield?
Well,
I do not.
I do not.
The voice, I'm blanking on the name. The King Penguin. I mean, he just has like this real commanding, deep voice, and Bowser's
I didn't see who was his voice.
Oh, he plays. He's in Walking Dead, but I forget. I forget the name of the actor. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. Either way, I just love, they all throw their little snowballs and it does nothing.
Yeah.
And he's like, do
Carrie
you
Payton.
yield?
Carrie Payton.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's been in multiple things. Isn't he like a cyborg in he's in a bunch of Justice League things too.
Oh, he's got a great voice for it.
Okay. In the animated ones?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm definitely familiar with him then.
Yeah,
and Jack Black did a really
perfect job
as
with
Bowser.
Yeah,
terrific.
Perfect.
In like his, although I will say in his singing moments, I could kind of tell it was him. His Jack Black voice came a little bit more through, but throughout the rest of the movie, I'm like, this is perfect. This
is what Bowser sounds like.
Yeah, that's what Bowser sounds like. Yeah.
It was kind of interesting too, the way they separated the two brothers, how they both go through the pipe and it just ends up they hit, one goes one way and one goes the other, and just they're right as they connect and all of a sudden they're sucked apart.
If they had just not held on to each other, they would have just both landed in the Mushroom Kingdom, but they had to the moment they grabbed each other, that started them spinning, and that caused caused them to fly in different directions.
No, we've always wondered what's between the pipes.
Yeah. That was really well. And you saw the pipes go into other clouds and just disappear, and obviously different worlds that we have yet to see, which will be really fun to explore.
Yeah, exactly. Darklands was suitably creepy. That was so well done.
And that was also, I think, clearly a bit of a nod towards the Luigi Mansion series, where Luigi is, in the Mario version of a horror movie, which is so slapstick and lighthearted. But even his flashlight starts to go out and stuff, which happens in the game.
Yep. Well, and not even that. It's the ghost houses, in Mario World and Mario 3 and all those.
Well, and they made the dry Koopas, the bones.
They
made them creepier than I remembered them ever being in a game. So that was well done.
The Shy Guy jump scare was really good.
Yeah. Lightning, and they're all standing right there.
Oh.
Yeah, that was done well. And of course, Mushroom Kingdom was just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did such an amazing job on the art for Mushroom Kingdom. So fitting for the games.
Mm-hmm. And
Especially
Toad, he was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so fun.
I could not tell he was Keegan-Michael Key.
No.
Yeah.
Did not at all. I had to look I looked at the credits afterwards. I was like, what the? What?
Yeah, the cast did a terrific job all around.
Yeah.
Yep. I do have two that I wasn't the biggest fan of for their casting, but we'll talk about that when we get to them. But yeah, it was, it was fun watching Mario trying to figure out the different pipes and the little clear tubes and all that, and that was kind of fun. Where he's trying to, okay, how are we doing this? I'm getting confused here.
And I kind of like that Toad was sort of in his Captain Toad treasure tracker sort of outfit when he first meets Mario. So I'm like, oh, are we getting a Captain Toad movie? Probably.
Maybe this is sort of him before he's Captain Toad, because he's got that adventurous spirit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Which none of the other Toads show.
No,
they're all.
There's a few different Toads in the games. The one that's coming to mind to me is one called Toadsworth, and he's like the advisor to the princess. And they have one who sort of plays that role, but it's not Toadsworth. So like Toadsworth never shows up, but they could totally introduce him in a later movie.
Yeah, they definitely left a lot open for other things.
Yeah.
But I have to say the montage where Mario, the Need a Hero montage where he's trying to do the level over and over and over and over and over. That is so me playing that game.
Mm-hmm. Like that's every kid in us right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a little bit further and something happens, get a little bit further.
And on the other hand, it was pointed out that the way that Princess Peach does it, so she just knocks it out of the park. But it's been pointed out that she is doing what more modern gamers like to do, and it's speed run. Yep. That she's able to just find the quickest way to complete the level, which is something that a lot of people. In fact, I've tried to do some of it myself, but it's really hard. Most speedrunners end up trying to utilize glitches to get to the finish line as quickly as possible. But but that was cool too.
It was fun to watch. I love that they're sitting there and how he's like, well, she talks about how it was so difficult, and then it only took you one time, didn't it?
It took me so many tries.
One time. Yeah.
It was only once, right? Well, yes.
We got to back up though and talk about the castle, and the, of course, quintessential Mario arrives at the castle only for Toad to say, "I'm sorry, but your princess is at another castle."
Yeah.
Why don't you go try another castle?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
But also, of course, a lot of the art in the castle is a very direct nod to Super Mario 64. The stained glass of Peach, and even just the pictures, the paintings on the walls.
Yep,
is very Mario 64.
By the way, I have to point out, Father Andrew, you said when Mario 64 came out 20 years ago. I hate to break it to you, it came out in 96.
So that's almost
30 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
I was in the Air Force when the Nintendo 64 came out.
That game can rent a car.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I hate. I'm sorry I made you feel old.
No, that's fine. I mean, it was bound to happen sometime. So
yeah.
Man, and 64 is probably the one that's most burned into my brain, because like I'm younger than I think most of you here, and so my first was the Super Nintendo one, but I only played that very briefly because my cousins had it, but I didn't have it.
Okay.
But then my best friend had a Nintendo 64, And whenever I was over his house for sleepovers, we would stay up so late playing Mario 64. You know, like I love that game. So I liked the references they put into it in this movie.
Yeah. Even the penguins are I don't know if Mario 64 was the first, but they are.
Mario 3 might have had them with the ice.
Maybe. There's definitely the ice world in Mario 3, but like the definitely the iconic like mom and baby penguin are in Super Mario 64.
Yep.
And you can race the penguin down that chute.
Yep.
Oh, he must cheat the way he wins.
Well, that's why there is a shortcut that you can take to win that to win that race.
Yeah, once you figure there's a certain point you can jump off and keep going, you got it. But yeah, it's I played that game a lot. But like I said, I started with the original NES Mario. First one with Duck Hunt, and then had the Super Nintendo with Super Mario World, which I think that's probably one of, if not my favorite, it's really high up there for Mario games that I will replay over and over again.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Those are a blast. We had a Super Nintendo, but my cousins had the original Nintendo. So I played Super Mario Brothers 3 on the original Nintendo at my cousin's house.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
But then like Super Nintendo was my golden era as a child.
And my favorite game series, bar none, is Mario Kart. So this movie had it for me. You know, I'm wearing my Mario Kart shirt here. Yes. I love those games because I'm actually sort of good at them. So but like, that Mario Kart sequence, hands down, I was grinning like an idiot through that entire sequence.
Well, if you've played any of the more recent Mario games, did you notice that the picker, how they picked their cart, was identical to the newer games?
And the music was the same from that sequence. Yeah. My dad plays Mario Kart with us. In fact, we still to this day will go back to Double Dash for the GameCube, which doesn't get a whole lot of love recently, but it's my favorite out of the whole series. But when me and my dad and my older brother and my younger brother will all four get on there and play, and we're all four. When my little brother, he's autistic, but high functioning. When he wants to battle, he's good. And so if all four of us are on point, it is tough. Other times he's kind of more, he just has fun with it. But yeah, same thing. Like my dad, I know he went and saw it, and I haven't talked to him directly, but I wanted to get his thoughts on all the Mario Kart references, because that's one of those that brings people together or tears friendships apart, like Mario Party often does.
Oh, like Mario, yeah. I mean, like I played Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS so much that I busted the control stick on the 3DS. Wow. It was in a permanent like drip. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh. Yeah, I've had all the way back to the original Mario Kart, again on the Super Nintendo.
The Super Nintendo, Which, by the way, I was playing that actually over Christmas break when I was home, because you can get it on the Switch.
Yep.
And those tracks are hard. Like almost more difficult than the newer ones. Rainbow Road back then, it's a simple setup, but just because it's on the Super Nintendo, it is drastically difficult.
And the controls, because that was, of course, when they first came out with it. And by the way, what was the name? Internet Historian did a gaming historian, the YouTube channel Gaming Historian. He did a whole thing on how Mario Kart came to be, the original Mario Kart came to be, and it was almost kind of a fluke that it happened the way it did. So that's worth checking out if you're curious about that. But yeah, I love the Mario Kart scene because I played way too much. You're talking about Double Dash. We played that at seminary. We'd sit on the big screen TV down in the rec room and play it. Somebody had a GameCube. So we played the heck out of that. So we, of course, we get Mario and Princess, and I love that scene where Mario's running from the Toads. He sneaks in and is running from the Toads, and literally runs into Peach, and she body slams him, and and then wait,
as she does,
you're human, I think. But and of course, we see Mario short until he gets his mushroom for the first time. didn't realize Mario doesn't like mushrooms at all.
That was a fun twist on his taste.
He throws up halfway through the montage.
Yeah, all that. Or like he's growing big and then he shrinks again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole scene was great. But did you notice that when they're going through Yoshi's Island, that Mario was chowing down on an apple?
Oh,
yeah.
Which I think those are from Super Mario World.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when Yoshi was first introduced. We see him with a bunch of apples that Yoshi you can jump and eat and stuff for points. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a clever little thing to throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I said is there are two voice actors that I really wasn't a fan of, and I hate to say it, but it was Donkey Kong and Grumpy
Cranky Kong.
Cranky
Kong.
I'm not a Seth Rogen fan. I really have never been.
I don't know if I've watched much of him, but
yeah, and he didn't even like disguise his voice. When I imagine Donkey Kong, I imagine a bit deeper voice than Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
it was basically Seth Rogen's voice.
Yeah, yes. And then it was Fred Armisen.
Oh yeah,
was Cranky Kong, and again another one where I'm not a big fan of his. He's the one that did the believe it or not, straight to jail. That meme, if you've ever seen that.
Okay.
That was the voice for Cranky Kong. And again, another one that is just like, he wasn't crotchety enough, in my opinion. But
right. Wasn't crotchety.
You know, because that's what Cranky Kong's got to be. He's got to be that way. I did like Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was kind of a group down there. There was Diddy
Yeah.
Kong, Dixie, Chunky Kong. So from like the Donkey Kong 64, there was kind of the group there.
I didn't see Funky Kong anywhere.
So Funky Kong shows up. He's in one of the carts later on.
Oh, okay.
So he was in there. It's not kind of blink and you'll miss it, but he's in there.
Okay.
But because people smarter and with more time than me have pointed that out on the internet.
Oh yeah, yeah. But with that said, I mean, with only the caveat of the voices, I love the Donkey Kong scene. I love the Smash Brothers scene. That was so good.
Was great too. For anybody who's played Smash Brothers, this was like, and if you're playing like, this is where my sister-in-law is. She's the one who's good at Super Smash Brothers, and so like. I'm often the Mario where you get caught and you just get beat up.
But like Mario's running at him and Donkey Kong just holds up his hands and grabs him.
Yeah. Or even like knocks him into the air, which is definitely a Super Smash Brothers like ending move.
I like that the bunch of the power-ups are the crappiest power-ups I've ever seen.
Yeah. Gets the shrink mushroom. Like, now you're in trouble.
Yep. Or even the cat one was a fairly recent thing. I think it was introduced in Super Mario. Was that
Galaxy
World?
I think it was 3D World.
It's not the Galaxy games. I think it's 3D World for the Switch. And it's got the one with Bowser's Fury.
Okay.
And in fact, I think I've played it, but it didn't really stick with me. But like, so. It totally worked in that sequence, but it wasn't your standard standard power up.
Well, I love it too. Where Donkey Kong, he's sitting there laughing. Oh, you got the cat suit. Now you're gonna die, and completely whiffs because Mario realized that hey, I'm faster now, and I got claws.
There was another musical cue there when he finally knocks DK out from the 1981 the Donkey Kong game. You've got a musical cue of the death of DK.
Yeah, so it was just a great scene, and of course Mario he's not giving up. He's getting
Yep.
Yeah, I like that as you give up, not even close.
Well, and again, I think we pointed that out. I know that there was fear, and I think I even shared it where. The fear was going to be like Mario is this completely incompetent character, and it's going to be Peach that is the one who saves the day.
Yep. Right.
Because the trailers just kept showing Mario failing and getting beat up, and didn't you watch the movie? And it's Yeah, that's part of his journey to become the hero, which is ultimately what we all wanted. So I'm perfectly okay with it. Like we all got to start at the bottom and work our way up.
Exactly. What was it you wanted to say there, David?
Oh, just like the fact he just wouldn't give up and wouldn't so basically making him the other Italian stallion. It's like the other Rocky or stop me.
No, that was a good aspect of the movie. Is you saw him growing as a character, and it was just funny because Mario, when Miyamoto first created Mario, he clearly said, "I don't want a plot. It's just you're going through, you're jumping, you're saving the princess, the end." And so there really wasn't a lot of development of him, but still you saw that, of course, through the games, you see that, but then of course in the movie as well.
Going back to the Kongs quickly, I just wanted to point out that Cranky Kong technically is the original Donkey Kong from the 1981 Donkey Kong game.
Right.
Because then there's Donkey Kong Jr., which was introduced in 1984 in a game called Donkey Kong Game & Watch. And he doesn't appear at all. And I was
going to say Donkey Kong Jr. was actually introduced in Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh, okay. Well,
which was the sequel to Donkey Kong.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's the one where you had the keys that you had to push up.
Yep. Maybe that came out after 1984, though. He might have appeared earlier. I'd have to look that up. But either way, I was going to mention that because Donkey Kong Jr. actually doesn't appear in here, and they imply that Donkey Kong, his dad is Cranky Kong. When in like the lore of the games, if you will, Donkey Kong is the third. He's the son of Donkey Kong Jr. So
okay.
So they kind of just got rid of Donkey Kong Jr. for the movie.
Well, it simplifies things.
Yeah.
But Donkey Kong Jr. was also in Super Mario Kart. So.
Oh.
Or at least now I need to look that up. I don't want to.
Was it the original Mario Kart? But I think it wasn't at 64 where you could have both the big and the small, or.
Well, that happened in Super Mario Kart too. Because Peach, you could throw these like Peach, if she was an AI character, would throw mushrooms that would make you small.
Right. Yeah, they definitely dug deep on the lore of the movies.
It's Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Jr. is in Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo.
The original. Oh, that's funny.
Huh.
Not Donkey Kong at all. Just Donkey Kong Jr.
It's the Junior.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Of course, I'm sure would have known that if actually bothered to read the manual. What kid did? It's like rip open the box and throw it in the cartridge slot and let's go.
Yeah.
So as we've been talking about this, we're talking about what Mario's going through, and then we've got Bowser, and he's revealing his big plot that he's gonna go and he's conquering the Mushroom Kingdom, and they've got the heavy metal going on, and all his troops are cheering, and it's gonna be an epic wedding. Yay! Well, what if she says no? Then we'll crush them.
And then they're all happy again. Yeah.
Oh. Now, who is it that hinted on the that he's a great piano player? Oh, David. Yeah.
Yeah. My ever since then. Besides the fact that they love the character development, my kids keep humming "Peaches, Peaches, Peaches" there all the time now. This is at the dinner table while we're driving.
So the piano was labeled Ludwig von Koopa.
Yeah.
Of course, he was one of the Mario 3 Koopas. And
he was in Super Mario World.
Yeah, introduced in Mario 3.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was kind of a cute little Easter egg. But yeah, he's in there, he's playing. Of course, it was Jack Black. Jack Black is actually a very good musician. He's actually pretty good, and he wrote the song.
I watched it. I mean, I was in college at the point where they actually had the Tenacious D TV show. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but that did exist.
Yeah, never saw any of that, but
that's okay.
I kind of avoided.
That's okay.
Didn't miss much. Yeah, I like that. He's singing along, and he's just really getting into it. Of course, they've got it like he's on the stage, and then he gets interrupted.
By Kamek. Yeah. Kamek was really... Kamek had some funny moments in this movie. In fact, probably my favorite part of the movie, my favorite gag was a little bit later when he's Bowser's trying to propose to Peach, and he says his I guess pickup line essentially, like true love really makes a guy come out of his shell.
Yeah.
And it falls flat. And he says kind of sideways to Kamek, like, I told you that line was stupid. And Kamek off screen's like, you're doing great, boss.
You just see a thumbs up off the screen.
Yeah. that cracked me up. That was probably my favorite little moment of the movie.
Well, I like the duet where after Bowser gets interrupted singing about peaches, they're sitting there, jam with me.
Yeah.
Link.
And it was pointed out Kamek is playing music that sounds like it getting coins initially. And then and then he moves into making the music of getting a power up.
Yeah. And then gets his hand slammed.
Boom, yeah.
Yeah, then you remember Bowser's the villain here.
Yeah. Can I lift the lid? No, suffering makes you stronger. I mean, there's so many of those little things in there that was great. What I loved was in the Luigi and the penguins in the cells and the galaxy star that was insane.
Yeah.
That was a little like unexpected for me. Because out of a Mario movie, I wasn't quite expecting there to be a character that was so
nihilistic,
deliciously dark.
Yeah,
well, but the stars in Galaxy are kind of like that.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, you get them to create the new galaxy by feeding them.
Yeah, yep.
Till they
star
explode.
bits. Yeah.
So I mean, they're a little bit demented in Galaxy, if I remember correctly. So it kind of fits.
Were there any other prisoner Easter eggs among the prisoners? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any because the only ones you really saw were the star and Luigi
and the penguins,
the penguins, and then eventually the Kongs.
Right.
Yeah. There might have been a few Goombas or Koopas. Oh, in fact, I think there might have been, which actually plays well with the games because there are some, especially not so much the mainstream games, but there are other games where Koopas and Goombas actually join your team to fight against Bowser.
Yep.
Oh, like in Paper Mario.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, that's one of them that I was thinking of.
Yeah,
so that's about all I remember though from the prisoners.
Yeah, it was just kind of a funny couple of scenes, and even the penguins like that's just too far.
Yeah,
don't listen to him. He's crazy.
But like we're already depressed. We don't need you.
But we talked about, of course, the Mario Kart scene, and that was anybody who's played any of the Rainbow Roads, that scene, including I love where they got the shortcut.
Yeah,
where Mario cranks it and he does the slide to boost up and does the shortcut.
So one of my claim to fame is on Mario Kart 64. I was racing my brother and I managed to do the giant leap off of Rainbow Road and land on it down. Ooh. Like you cut half of the course off.
Yeah.
And
that's hard to do on that one.
You have to jump very precisely. And I just remember finally doing it. And
I know
my brother won't be too happy that I share this, but he got so upset that I was going to beat him that he shut the game off.
No! Rage quit.
No!
Like standard, like we laugh about it now, but like the moment it was a guarantee that I was going to beat him, like that was it.
Oh,
yeah. But still that shortcut on Rainbow Road, like it's hard to get to, but if you can do it, it's crazy.
Now there's one on Mario Kart 8 that it's actually not that hard to do. You just have to have a boost where you can go like 2 levels down.
Oh, nice.
But
the challenge with 64 is that there's a guardrail on either side of the whole road. So the only way to jump over it is that initial drop right at the very beginning of the track. Yeah, you have to like jump and turn off to the left.
There are a few glitches in Kart 64 that are doable, but you got to know exactly what you're doing in there. There's some of those timings where it's almost like frame by frame timings. You got to hit the frame just right to do it. So I never really bothered with those. I just kind of tried to get as good as I could.
Sure.
And of course, you notice that everybody had their stock carts. So like Mario had his stock cart, and
Toads was the best.
Toads, yeah. Monster truck.
He's like actually like bouncing, sunglasses bouncing off his face.
Too much power for the little guy.
Well, I think he does. It's kind of like his idling animation in Mario Kart is him like jumping up and down in his seat. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the thing, like, whenever I play Mario Kart, for some reason, AI Toad is really, really good. For some reason, I don't know if anyone else is in that
he's
experience.
Your nemesis.
Yeah, he's my nemesis. He's and the thing is because when he passes you, he always goes like, ha, ha, and I'm just like, die. So yeah, he's my Mario Kart AI nemesis.
Oh. Usually I always get stuck with the ones who are bigger because then when I try to pass them, you end up hitting them and, get knocked out of the way because they're a heavier cart than you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Toad's one of the lightweights, but like, Bowser and some of the bigger guys are harder to get around.
And of course, in this scene, we have the nemesis of everybody who's played a later Mario Kart, the blue shell.
Oh.
And as soon as you saw the guy that was in the big cart with the chompers, where he had the blue helmet on, it's like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yep.
And sure enough, and it did the little twirl above right before it exploded.
And it never misses. Well,
there's ways to make it miss.
In Double Dash, I knew like if you the cannon on Donkey Kong, the mountain, if you hit the cannon right as it's supposed to hit you, you can avoid it. Or various other ways, but
the speaker box that helps too.
Oh yeah,
you get that at the right time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. If you hit it just as it starts swirling over you, if you hit that box, that kicks it off.
Or if you're mischievous like me, you just kind of slow up and let my brother pass me into first place, and then let it go after him,
which doesn't work if it's already locked on you.
True.
That's happened before too.
The worst thing is to get it right before the finish line.
Yeah. Oh man. So much going, and then of course so much going on here at this point now because you get Mario and Donkey Kong knocked into the eel or knocked in the water and get eaten by the eel.
Yeah. That's supposed to be, I assume, the eel from 64, right? From Mario 64. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look exactly the same, but I thought that had to be what they're referencing.
It looks like the one from the later Mario Kart games.
Oh, okay.
Where you run across it. Like on Mario Kart 8, you actually run across the back of it.
Yeah.
But I like that they're in there. And that's of course where they have the reconciliation, between Donkey Kong and Mario, They become friends there.
Frenemies.
Yep. Meanwhile, Peach and Toad go and she willingly or unwillingly agrees to the marriage. Not, of course, Bowser doesn't realize that she's got a trick up her sleeve or up her toad, shall we say.
In canonical terms, she's being forced. This is an invalid marriage. She went with
it. Is. Yep, exactly. Said the canon law geek.
Yep, sorry. Can't help it.
Yeah, so like even if Peach goes through with it, she just get an annulment. It's fine.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's invalid.
Now, where did the blue flower come from? When did that one show up? The freeze flower.
I think it was introduced in one of the more recent games, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
It's definitely from one of the games, though.
Yeah, I remember from the game. I just don't remember which.
So it could be 3D World, which is one of the newer ones for the Switch.
Could be. You know what? I think it was the Wii, the new Super Mario World.
Oh, the Super Mario Brothers Wii. Yeah, it could have been. Because those ones I haven't played as much. It's definitely not Odyssey.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like that
sounds right.
That little twist where Toad gives her the bouquet with the hidden blue flower.
Well, and even I loved Bowser's tuxedo and top hat, and that was also very much he wore the same thing in Mario Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely kudos to that. But I've always thought top hats look just cool. So to see Bowser in one is cool.
Well, and then there was King Bob-omb was there from 64.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So was King Boo. So future villains.
Yeah. Lots of little Easter eggs in that scene. I mean, there were a ton of them, just the different, of course, bad guys and everybody there.
Yep.
But she freezes him and is able to start the process, or at least stop the people from being the prisoners from being killed, sacrificed. I love that where Bowser thought that was an appropriate wedding gift, was to sacrifice these prisoners. That's Bowser.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I want to go back quick to one of the other Kamek and Bowser scenes. So Bowser is practicing proposing to Peach, and Kamek is pretending to be Peach. And then they're interrupted by one of the Koopas with some information, and all I could think about was Spaceballs. And like where Darth Helmet's like playing with his dolls and like, knock next time. No, sir, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again, sir.
Well, I love it that Bowser thought having a bouquet of the piranha plants was a good idea.
Yeah.
He presents it, chomp, chomp, chomp.
Oh.
Of course, Mario and DK are able to get out in time and come and join in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Mario in the Tanuki suit.
Yes, the best suit out of Mario Brothers 3.
Favorite ever. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We didn't get to see him turn into a statue, but still.
Nope. But he still did the flying tail and of course led the bill.
What did Luigi call him? Why do you look like a
raccoon? Did he call him a raccoon?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I
thought he called him something besides a raccoon.
Yeah, I can't remember either what he called him, but it was perfect. It looked perfect. Yeah, it was just, but that was such a great scene where he lures the bill. First of all, I like that where he finally gets the bill's attention by smacking him in the eye, and the flag is bending over on the top of the castle, just about. But then we have him get sucked into the real world, into Brooklyn.
Yeah,
another great scene. Or they're fighting it out. It's that big epic fight, another Smash Brothers fight.
Yeah, but this time Mario and Luigi are together. Well,
yes.
Mario kind of gets hurt first and has to kind of come to himself, and then Mario and Luigi take him on together.
And then they get the invincibility star,
which was great. I really loved that it wasn't just Mario that defeats Bowser. It was Mario and Luigi.
Together.
And part of the whole finishing blows to Bowser is they do swing him by his tail and throw him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
Mario 64.
they were fitting in every Easter egg possible into this thing.
And then they finally stuff the blue mushroom down his throat, and they shrink him and put him into the jar.
Which pays off the gag from earlier when Mario's like, I'll buy you a turtle when we get to Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
She just didn't expect a singing turtle.
Yep.
Right.
And they saved the day. The Mushroom Kingdom is saved, and Mario and Luigi go and live there. And
the other thing that it was a small thing, but his dad, or Mario and Luigi's dad, runs up to him and says how proud he is of them, which kind of is a completion of, at the beginning of the movie, he was sort of implying that he was disappointed in Mario, and then disappointed that Mario took his brother down the same road with him. So this was the reconciliation of the family there too, which was good.
Yeah, exactly. So everything kind of gets, the good guys win, the bad guy loses and gets put in a bird cage.
And so concludes every Mario Brothers game that I've ever played.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was one thing I forgot to mention is during the at the end of the Mario Kart scene where they had the flying clown heads pick up the Kongs.
Oh, yeah.
Had to have those.
I was missing like Lakitu, the little guy who does the countdown thing.
And shoots out the Spinies on the original Mario. Hate those guys. So there were 2 post credits or middle credits and post credit scenes. There was Bowser singing again about, how Mario and Luigi and Donkey Kong won't keep me from you, Peaches. And then you have the Toad come in. Do you know who I am?
Yeah. Which apparently that song is like, I don't know, is potentially like nominated for some awards.
Oh,
I forget. Like I it's kind of silly, but
at this rate, this might be more what Jack Black's most popular song ever.
Yeah. It reminds me of when if you've seen WandaVision, when Agatha, it's the Agatha All Along song at near the end of the
Agatha, the one she's doing the monsters thing.
Yeah. Like that song like rose to the top of the charts of all over the place.
That's funny.
So Peaches now is the new Agatha All Along song.
And then finally we have the Yoshi egg in Brooklyn down by the pipe, and it's cracked and you hear Yoshi. So I think we know the next movie, at least the next Mario movie, is going to be a Yoshi movie, Yoshi Loose in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, they obviously can't do like like Yoshi's Island, because Yoshi's Island was with Mario and Luigi as kids or as babies. So I wonder what story they'll adapt, or if they'll go in a completely new direction.
They could do Yoshi's Story, the game for the Nintendo 64. I loved that game.
The problem with that is that that Mario and Luigi aren't really in it at all, are they? Because it's all pretty much Yoshi.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's
so they could, but I think, or maybe they somehow merge that with, I don't know.
Yeah,
a new plot or something.
And they're saving that for a spinoff.
Yeah.
Well,
so
like I want the Luigi's
potential.
Mansion movie where but in Luigi's Mansion you still got Mario because he's the one who gets captured.
Well, and of course, again, Shigeru Miyamoto said we've got other characters we can pull from, other franchises we can pull from. So of course everybody immediately go Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah.
We need Zelda movie.
Well, or Metroid Star Fox. Yeah, there's lots of possibilities out there. So everybody's going Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Let's go. Oh, and I saw someone like create a mock-up of it where like it like it culminates in a Super Smash Brothers Avengers like movie where it brings them all together. Like they've already got Sonic movies out there. They've got Detective Pikachu, and like so you've got some the hand like pulling in all these characters.
Well, I used to love in Super Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii. They had that really cool story mode.
Yeah.
I loved playing that story mode. That was a lot of fun. So you can do a story in Super Smash Brothers. It's possible.
That's the thing about the mock-up of like all these the Nintendo Cinematic Universe is you can have a plot that works. It's not just a kind of a silly idea. Is you could legitimately make this work and have it plot-wise be really fun.
So is there anything else any of you want to throw out that we didn't talk about or mention or?
I think we hit everything. I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling deprived because my Super Mario experience kind of tapped out right around Mario Kart just because didn't have it. We didn't have that kind of stuff at the house. I just go over to friends.
Same here. Yeah.
Sure.
We didn't have a game system until much later.
Do you have a Nintendo Switch?
Now my son does, but I'm afraid if I borrow it, then he'll never get it back.
Sure.
So there is that.
That's what's great about the Nintendo Switch is they've been, and some of them either slow to release on it, or some of the games that I want to play still haven't been re-released on it, but they're re-releasing a lot of the old catalog of games. That
virtual console, they call it.
Yeah, which is a great way to either catch up if you haven't played it, or to play it again if you grew up with it. And
so there's a lot of good, and you can tell that with this they're going to make sure all the Mario games are available, as many of them as they can. If they're not available now, they will be. So
I'm just gonna have to do some father-son bonding then, I guess.
Yeah,
a lot of them are multiplayer, so absolutely, that's the way to go. Maybe the only thing that I'll add here is I think it comes out digitally on May 12th, which which is quick.
That's really quick. And
I'm thankful for that because that's when I'm going to be home. and my nephew is, he's 5. And they didn't take the kids to the movies because he's got 3 siblings that are all younger than him. So it would have just, it would have been chaotic. And my nephew, John, when I was home over Christmas break, we went to the pizza ranch, and they had an arcade place, and Mario Kart was one of the arcade version of Mario Kart, which
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's different. It is a whole different game, and it is Mario Kart, and it's licensed everything. So it's not a knockoff, but it's a game that was made specifically for an arcade. And so I got to play Mario Kart with John, which meant he controlled the steering wheel while I, push the gas pedal. And I shared with him my love of Luigi, and so he's now gravitated towards Luigi as his character. So,
nice.
So we're gonna do a movie night when I'm home over break in May, and have a lot of fun with this movie.
Well, very good. I was really enjoyed it and enjoyed that movie, and it was glad it wasn't as a flop. Let's put it that way, because one thing didn't kind of talk about is, I think Hollywood is starting to recognize we don't want the message movies. We don't want, we just want fun. We want to go to the movies and have fun.
There's a reason it's called entertainment.
Yeah. You see that with Top Gun, and you see that with this. And I think this could be more of a message that, no, this is what people want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want a deep theological or philosophic movie. They want a Super Mario movie, and we got it. So we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the secrets of movies and TV, including Dion, Martin G, Colleen T, Brant T, and David S. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue all the shows at StarQuest. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Be sure to follow the secrets of movies and TV on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or other podcast apps. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/StarQuestMedia. If you've enjoyed this discussion, please share it with your friends and help us grow our audience. To find other discussions of movies and TV shows, and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/secrets. Our email for feedback is secrets@sqpn.com. Follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia or on Twitter at SQPN. And you can join in the discussion on our Discord at sqpn.com/Discord. So as we close, Father Andrew Kinstetter, thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Absolutely. This was a blast. Pun intended. Babam.
Yeah, exactly.
King Babam.
Yeah, exactly. David Handlos, thank you as well.
Thank you.
And thanks, Thomas. I was going to say Sanherho. That's another Thomas. Thomas Salerno.
Thank you so much, Father Cory.
And once again, I'm Father Cory Sticha. Thank you for listening to the secrets of the Super Mario Brothers movie on StarQuest.
Here's another show on the StarQuest network you're sure to enjoy, The Secrets of Middle-earth. Find it wherever you can find podcasts or at sqpn.com/Middle-earth.